Okay, phase 2 is complete. We have collected all of the information you should need to create a personalized resume for that position you want to apply to. Remember, during the course of this video, feel free to pause and follow along at your own pace. Let's get started. What you should have at this point is a printed copy of the job description to refer to, your living document pulled up on your desktop, your list of keywords and strengths from the second video, and obviously your computer. This looks like a lot of information for completing your resume, but in a few simple steps, we are going to extract all of the important data from these 3 documents and make a powerhouse resume that will get you past the applicant tracking systems. It will speak specifically to the job you are applying for and will make it to the hands of the hiring manager. If you have searched the internet for different types of resumes, there are a ton. Many are designed for those that have a lot of life and professional experience and are for focusing on cramming as many details into a one-page resume as possible. Remember, most people only take 10 to 15 seconds to review a resume. Getting too fancy with your formatting not only distracts from the important information you are providing about yourself, it can affect whether or not your resume ever makes it to the hiring manager. Any resume that is being submitted online should be simple, clear and concise, and formatted consistently throughout. If you want to make a fancy resume to bring to your interview, that is fine, but let's get you to that interview first. Let's focus on the 2 types of resumes that will ensure your message gets across in the shortest amount of time. The most common resume format is called a chronological resume. You always want to list your experiences in a reverse chronological format, meaning your most recent experiences first. Not only is it important to show how qualified you are for the position you're applying for, but it's tremendously helpful to also show your work ethic. If you have worked and can show that you have stayed with a job for a notable period of time, and that there are no measurable gaps in your employment, this will be the best format for you. This is also the cleanest format to get you past the robots or applicant tracking system filters. Another option that we recommend using would be a functional resume format. If you do have gaps in your employment history, or you don't have much to show in the way of a job history, this format allows you to put the focus on your experiences and qualifications with a secondary focus on your work or education history. If you have received a number of certifications or have aspects of your prior work history that you think are not well explained in your job title or job description, this is a great way to showcase those specific things that you have done. So let's take a look at the example we used for videos 1 and 2. This individual is applying for a sous chef position. They have 2 jobs, working in a restaurant, and recently completed a culinary arts program. Take a look at your living document and let's focus on any professional experiences or education that you think speak to the position you are applying to. Not only are we looking for experiences that are a match for the items in the job description, but also that consistency in employment. Don't have a work history? You don't feel your past experiences speak to the position? That's okay. Follow along with our process and we will discuss the best options for you. Go ahead and pause the video here and take a look at your past experiences. Take a mental note which items you think are most important. Okay, let's take a look at this individual. Because they have both professional and school experiences that are a good match for the sous chef position, we are going to go with the chronological format. We've circled the items that best speak to the sous chef position, but what should be listed first? It's your discretion whether work history, volunteer experience, or education are listed first. Remember, the most important experiences should be at the top of the resume to ensure they are seen in that 10 to 15 second review by the hiring manager. For this example, we're going to list education first, followed by work experience. Though they have good work experience that is applicable, the attainment of the culinary arts education is more specifically catered to the sous chef role they are applying to. Everything else we discussed in video 1 at this point becomes filler. We want to provide as much applicable experience as possible without flooding your resume with too much information. We may be able to include volunteer experience, extracurricular activities, awards, or skills, but let's start with the important stuff and work our way down. So let's go ahead and start formatting your resume. Go ahead and transfer your header and the objective from your living document to a new Word document. Take a good look at the objective or career statement you are including to ensure it is a good match for the position you are applying. You can come back and take a look at this and modify it if needed once you have your full page of pertinent information. Go ahead and pause the video and do this now. Now let's go ahead and transfer your experiences in the order you have selected. Again, feel free to pause. As discussed, in our example, we have decided to list education as our first subheading. We are then adding work experience as our second subheading. Think about this. With your living document saved on your desktop, you don't have to type and retype this information every time you're creating a resume, and you can ensure you are providing the correct dates rather than trying to remember years after your experiences. Again, feel free to pause this video and transfer this information. Okay, let's move on. With this individual's resume, we decided that the volunteer experiences would be a good addition, and we added them accordingly. Upon reviewing our list of keywords and skills, we have decided that we can provide a short description for each that will utilize many of the words and statements we have highlighted. But wait, now our page is full. This is going to be our first step in formatting. Go ahead and decrease the space between your lines so that you can fit more information. Just make sure that your spacing is consistent. Just providing the basics, where you worked, what you did, and when you did it, really doesn't provide enough information as to your qualifications. This next step will take you a little more time, but we want you to take a look at what we have done with our example. With each experience, we have added a very brief description of responsibilities and experiences. When describing this individual's past experiences, we are extracting information from the things I have done list, as well as the keywords list. We have covered a lot of what we had written down in our example, just so you can see how easy it is to get these keywords transferred from the job description into your resume. If upon researching your company and job description you have ended up with a long list of keywords and are concerned you cannot fit them into your resume, that's okay. Pick the ones that you think are most important and try and incorporate those. What you have left will still be usable, as you could use it in your application, your cover letter, and could be very good talking points for your interview. If you are having a hard time summarizing your experiences and utilizing the keywords, try doing a web search for, as an example, prep cook description, job description. You'll find a wealth of resources online that will help you prepare these descriptions. If you're not in communication with your CTS partner, this would be a good time to communicate with them if you need assistance. This is what we do for a living. If you have a personal resource that you trust, have them review what you have prepared so far. It is always good to have a second set of eyes looking at your resume before you send it out. Let's go ahead and pause this video and take the time to complete this information. When you return, we will discuss some additional formatting options and finalize this personalized resume. Okay, we are back. Let's just pretend we're a hiring manager. Get on your phone and set a timer for 15 seconds. Then take the time to review what you have created from top to bottom. I want you to see just what information will be absorbed by a hiring manager. Go ahead and pause the video and try this. So what do you think? Do you have what it takes to get the job? Remember, with our sample resume, we could have added more information, but our goal is to keep it simple. If you have more pertinent information, you can add it, but for the purpose of this example, we'll stick with what we have. So that we can provide you another example that would apply for you, let's go ahead and remove the work history from this resume. Our goal is still to create a full, simple, one-page document. If our work history was removed, then it would make sense to add some of the additional materials you have in your living document. Here we have created 2 chronological resumes, one with our individual's work history, and one assuming he has no work history. This is where the formatting of your fonts can be done to bring focus to your experiences. There are a number of ways that you can manipulate fonts to separate information and bring focus to the important information. The use of increased font size, color, bolding, and italics is used here to separate the information for each experience. Make sure your formatting is consistent and your subheadings are clearly visible. Feel free to do a quick web search for resume styles. Remember the most important thing: keep it simple. If you are applying online, remember, before a human will ever see your information, you could very well be screened by a robot or applicant tracking system. The use of keywords, consistent formatting, and speaking to your qualifications is imperative to even get to that hiring manager. If the tools we have provided here are sufficient, that's wonderful. We have also added some written links from reputable sources for compiling your resume in Canvas. Our goal is to provide you as many options as possible to suit your particular learning style. If you would like assistance with creating your resume, please reach out to one of our team's professionals in the CTS department. We're here to ensure your transition into the workforce is a success.